Hi everybody. In this video I'm going to do a product review. This new microphone set that I'm going to use for creating my YouTube videos. It's the WM100 Plus from Comica. Didn't open it up yet. So as I get started, if you see something in this video that you like or find useful in any way, please, once again, do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. Tried to look for a manual online, but I couldn't find one for this model. So I'm going to have to take a look at it in more detail, the manual that is, once I've got it opened up. Okay. Oh, it's got a really nice carrying case to it. I had seen online that it actually included a carrying case, but I didn't think it was going to be at this quality level. So let's take a better look at it here. Let me look at the top part first. So unzipping the top, a bunch of little pouches in here. Take some of these out here. This one looks like an adapter. It supports different types of connectors for different types of microphones. So it looks like this is an adapter from the traditional style microphone connector, 3-prong high-end microphone, to the standard 3.5-inch stereo adapter. It did say that it comes with a USB charger. So I would assume if I put some chargeable batteries in it, then this will enable me to charge it. Yep, that's what that is. Standard USB to a micro USB adapter. Oh, this is the one to connect up a standard 3.5-inch stereo adapter to another 3.5-inch. So a straight through adapter. Oh, here's one of the microphones. It's a standard Lavalier microphone with a clip over to the 3.5-inch stereo connector. This one here looks like a second mic, and these are the clips, the belt clips for the transmitters. They seem a little flimsy to me, to be honest with you. That's the one thing I was concerned about. So I'll see after I've connected them up to the actual transmitting unit that goes on your belt, how sturdy these things are. So it's like one for each of the transmitters and one for the receiver. They're all the same. Oh, these are the wind breakers that go onto the microphone. So if you're in a windy environment, you can put these on the mic. Seem to have one of those standard wraparound little straps here. We can stick it onto the microphone. When I bring it outside, we'll see how it sounds with and without one of these. It looks like there's a second one, which I won't open. I'll leave the second one alone for now. Okay, so we got the instruction manual. I'll have to spend some time with that as I start doing the testing. The manual itself looks like it has multiple languages. Oh, this may be, yeah, this is what this is, the adapter to connect it up to your camera. So this would go into the receiver, and then this would go into your hot shoe, but it'll effectively become a cold shoe once this is plugged into it. And then we have a really nice case here. I like this. It's really hard foam. This is not your standard rinky-dink foam that you see. This stuff is really solid. Since this has the one antenna, this has got to be a transmitter. So I should have two transmitters, and then this one has dual antenna. So this is the receiver. So this will go on top of the camera, but the adapter should screw into the bottom here, and then I can put this onto the shoe. What do we have in terms of batteries? Does it have any with it? No. Looks like two AA. Hopefully I can put rechargeable ones in here and then use that USB connector in order to recharge them rather than buying new ones each time. We'll see how that goes. And then of course the transmitters are the same. Well, they have the same case, so you can connect them up to some other device on a tripod or a camera as well if you wanted to do that. And then the two AA's. So let me get some batteries. I'm going to need probably two for each. Get it all set up, and then I'll see about checking these menus out. Okay, so out of the box I was pleasantly surprised by the fact that they are already configured properly. So here's the receiver, and I already got it on. You see both ends of the two different mics connected to it, so they're all turned on at this point. You can see it by the green lights. They mean different things whether you're dealing with the transmitter here on this side or the receiver. Dims it automatically. It seems like it's adjustable according to the manual. But if I click on it here, you can actually see the screen. You can actually see the configuration screen. So I'm talking right now. If I put the mic closer, you can actually see the actual bar coming up in terms of showing that it is picking up the actual input from the microphone. And then on a transmitter, the same thing. So I'll put the channel A close first. And if I talk on the transmitter for channel A, you can see the A coming up on the left-hand side there. And then if I pick the other one up and I talk through it, you can see that the second one is coming up more. So it's picking up both of them. Okay, let me show you the menus on one of these transmitters. So if I click the little power on button right over here. It lights up the screen. And then if I move these arrows here, left and right, I can actually pick up the different options that are available to us. So for example, let's start with the first one. You probably would never change this, but you could change which group it is. If you hold down the center button, the set button, it highlights the option that can be changed, and you can use the arrows to change it. That goes to group A, back to group B. Then I hit it again, and it resets it. The next one is a low cut filter, which allows you to cut off the low frequency noises. It has 2 levels to it. Hold down the center button until it highlights the off, then click either up or down. It's a low version of the low cut and a high version. The high cuts out a lot more than the low. Let me go back to off, and then I'll set it. Then let's say I want to go to bar of power. Now if you're going to be relatively close between the transmitter and the receiver, you shouldn't use high. So I'm going to change that right now. I'm going to hold down the center button, that highlights, and I'm going to click this one. Doesn't really matter which one I click. I'm going to put it to low power. It can either be high or low. So I'm going to set it to low. Then I hit the center button again, and that sets it. The next option is muting. It's enabled right now. If you wanted to, you could turn off muting. I don't see why you'd want to do that, but maybe you're hitting the button by accident a lot. Let's leave it enabled. The next one is backlight. Well, this is in seconds. If I hold down the center button, it's set for 15. I can make it 60, 30, 15, or 0, which means no backlight. Let me leave it at 15. Click the center button to set it. The next thing is reset. If I want to reset all the factory defaults, I could make that option here. I don't want to do that, but you would hold it again here, click this to yes, and then hit set, and it would do it. But right now, this is the default. It shows you what Group B's frequency is. Group B and Group A both have slightly different frequencies within that channel. Okay, what I was just looking at was the actual transmitter. This one is the receiver. You see the difference here in terms of these 2 letters. That says RX for receiver. Now you see 2 different menus there. Group A, Group B shows you the volume. If I select the left or right arrow, I see the options for the receiver. Output mode, now that's output through the output like to the camera or to a computer. It's currently set for stereo, which is what I want, although you could change that to mono. It depends on what you're connected to, whether or not that's going to be significant or not. I do want stereo, I will leave it at stereo. The next thing is the setting of Group A. So I can actually change it to which one is Group A by this setting. Again, I don't recommend that you change this, but you can if you want. So if I click on this, I can change A to B and B to A. So I can swap them around, leave it as the normal setting. The next choice is, what is the Group A setting? Is it on or off? I can actually declare that. Right now it's set as on, but I could turn it off if I wanted to, so it would never listen for that frequency for Group A. I want to leave it for on. And you can change the volume for Group A. Right now it's at volume level 12. I could actually increase it or I could decrease it, depending on what you've noticed that the volume needs to be adjusted. Leave it at 12. The next one is auto scan. I have it set for channel 0, which if I click on this, then I have to specify which channel that I want. I don't want to do that. I want to leave it on channel 0. So both Group A and Group B are at channel 0. I could actually change them with that option. I can do a Group A setting of sync. I could either sync it or not sync it, and it'll try to synchronize with that particular one. I'm going to say no. Backlight, again, this is just like the transmitter. You can change the backlight to how many seconds you want it to stay on. And a reset, the same as the transmitter. I can reset it at this point to factory defaults, and then the version number, the actual firmware that's loaded into this particular device. And we're back to the beginning. I'm now going to hook them up to the camera, and we'll see. Right now we'll compare it to my existing directly connected lavalier microphone that I'm using right now as I'm speaking in this introduction, and then we'll be able to see what the difference is. Okay, I'm showing here how the actual receiver is connected to my camera's audio input, the standard jack that's provided on my Lumix camera. From here I can see the status of both transmitters as well. Now we should be picking up the sound from this, transmitted over the air, and see how it sounds. How does that compare to what I had before? So this is the one that says channel A. If you hit the button a second time, that's when it lights up as I showed before. I have it on channel 0. It's Group A, not channel A. All 3 have to be on the same channel. Right now we're on channel 0. This particular unit can actually support up to 48 different channels. Generally you don't have to change it, unless there's a conflict with something else. For example, I had a conflict with the lights that I'm using right here for another device, and I had to change its channel. So the channels are actually on, it's a different frequency band, but obviously the frequency bands cross over a little bit. So if you start getting interference and you wonder where the interference is coming from, you should go ahead and change a channel on it and see if that helps. So this is the first mic. Let me go and check the second one. Let me mute this. If I believe all I do is push it and it says mute on there. Now I'm on the second microphone. I've muted the first one. As you can see here, a red light came on when I hit that button, the power on button, when I hit it a second time. Just a quick hit. If I go ahead and do it now to this one, then it will be completely muted. Let me try that. So now this one's working. So this is the one that's under group A, and this is the one that's under group B. Let me try to put both on at the same time and see what happens. So now I got two microphones going on at once. Let's see how that sounds. I'm first going to go to the group A and talk a little bit closer to that one, and then I'm going to go to group B and talk a little bit closer to that one. So we'll see how that works out when I go back and listen to the sound of this. Okay, the only other thing I want to show you is how to put the belt clip on. The belt clip has two little prongs, one at each side here. These little prongs here, one over here and one over here. On the actual receiver or transmitter, but it would only really apply to the transmitter, there's a little teeny hole on both sides. So you want to take one of these prongs and put it into that hole. The first one is hard to do. You have to sort of manipulate it a little bit, stretch it out a little bit until you get it into that little hole. Once you get the first one, the second one works out very well. There we go. I got the first one in right here. Now I can flip it over to the other side, and the second one is a lot easier to do. Just pull this up until it gets into the little hole, and it snaps in place. And now here's the belt clip. I did use it, and it is pretty sturdy, so it's not as flimsy as I feared it might be. Hi, well, let me test it now for outdoor range. I brought a range finder, which I use when I go golfing, and I'm going to check the range every so often. And I have somebody signaling me when the signal sound goes off on the camera. So right now, it's saying I'm at 6 yards. Let me go down a little bit. Okay, I'm at 20 yards. Let me see what this looks like. No, 16 yards here. 25 yards. Can you hear me okay? Good. 32 yards. This thing is at the corner of my block. 43 yards. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Good. 54 yards. That's more than 150 feet. 66 yards. That's 200 feet. Well, that completes the review of this Comica Wireless Microphone set. I think it did pretty good. Even outside, again, this video is focused on how I use this equipment as I make my videos for YouTube. So again, if you got something out of it or enjoyed it in any way, please do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. My head will pop up here in a moment. Click on it, follow along, and subscribe. That would really help this channel grow.